It's good to have you back with us. The federal government has notified the other agencies regarding the 100 bodies and councils that would cease to provide funding to them, beginning with the 2024 budget, in line with the decisions of the Presidential Committee on Salaries. Now, the move is in line with the recommendations of the Oronsai Committee report and the recent Presidential Committee on Salaries. Director General Budget Office of the Federation, Ben Akabwese, conveyed the message on Wednesday via memo sent to the professional bodies. RISE analyst Dayo Sobowale joins us now to discuss the likely effect of this decision on the affected organizations. Mr. Sobowale, it's good to have you with us as always.
As always.
So, if you have to look at it, over 100, councils and professional bodies, one would argue that the level of funding of these bodies and councils is probably not commensurate to expected development. And this, Oronsai report, that means it must have been on the front burner for some time now. So this wasn't a fluke. I'd like your thoughts on that.
Well, my take on this is that there may still be need for clarification.
Okay.
Whether this decision affects cuts across the board and affects all professional bodies.
Okay.
But you see, it cannot be a sweeping thing like that.
All right.
My own understanding is that professional bodies fund themselves from membership and they get donations and things like that. I don't expect government to just make a sweeping decision like that, because we must have our priorities and we must live with the times. There are some issues that we need to do research on, to seek innovation on them. And there are new technologies coming out that are affecting our polity, like in new media, new technology. Okay, I saw some news just when I was about coming here on artificial intelligence, that even those who did research and discovered it and developed it on retiring now are asking government to evolve regulations urgently so that robots don't seize power from human beings. The same thing with the internet. See, before media houses are supposed to be neutral, during elections. But now we know that they can manipulate elections
of course,
with information, disinformation, using different means. I can use myself as an example. When the Biden administration came in, I knew their background. I had a column at the Nation then, global economy and politics. I changed it to new cultures and politics, because I knew LGBTQ issue. You get me? And the family and the transgender, all this is will eventually come out, and with the spread of America, they may want to impose it on this part of the world. Whereas here we are, Boko Haram, IPOB, all of us are agreed that marriage is between a man and a woman, and that there's a family. So these are new ideas and innovations that government cannot run away from. In the medical field, in technology, we must indeed spend money on research on them. Look at the COVID thing that they have politicized now. The institute that Dr. Fauci headed was sponsoring research on this sort of thing in China. But when politics came, they said we were using American taxpayers' money. But that is done. The World Health Organization encourages it. In Europe, you see, there's cooperation, technological. You see, look at the aeroplane. So many things, that the seat, the engine, the whatever, they are not done in one nation, but they are assembled in one place. That is my take on that. Get with that. Government should not fund self-funding lucrative professional bodies. They have no business with the FBA now.
Yeah.
They have no business with ICANN. They have always done their own thing, their own way, did their. But you must look to the future, be proactive.
Yeah.
New dangers, and new innovations that can threaten our stability, affect our democracy. We must spend money on research on them. So that we have on the stable ground.
I mean, we're still even still talking about clarity. We're looking at, this particular circular that gone out saying it will take effect from January 2024, another one passing 2026.
Yeah.
But what I really want to focus on is the fact that even as this letter has focused on the decision to discontinue the budgetary allocation to these organizations based on the recommendation of Presidential Committee on Salary. So is there something that we don't necessarily know here? Because looking at this circular, there have been specific professional bodies and councils that have been mentioned. So, you talking about them being self-funded and then this circular coming out saying that the government is actually going to stop funding them. I'm just trying to understand.
Let me caution you. You notice now, there's been a new trend. This government has just come in. This fuel subsidy removal has generated tension, pains. And we were discussing discourse. They said discourse will increase
the tariff.
But discourse cannot increase tariffs. The law says in Nigeria, Electricity Regulation Commission can do that. And they've done that several times, rejected at the National Assembly. But you see, people are, the style is getting clear now. In anticipation of what they want, they will fly a kite. Discourse flew a kite. Then later, it was after we spoke here that they came out on Sunday. You get me? That is the normal thing they do. But then there's an electricity regulatory authority, new Electricity Act. You get me? Signed by this new government. Would that exist in a vacuum?
Definitely not.
People are trying to clean up things before new laws or new notions from a new government come into play. So we have to be careful. See that letter, talking about, the letter was read to optometrists. But you see, the government cannot stop medical research, get me, on new expected diseases and emergencies. Yes, government will fund those.
Very good. That's even where I'm going, Mr. Sobowale, regarding science and technology, the fields of science and everything. But isn't that taking the shine away from our, institutes in terms of the universities and the polytechnics and everything? You hardly hear of university dons or what have you coming out with research, breakthroughs and all that. Has this professional bodies taken the shine off that, and the funding has been neglected for the schools, where ordinarily we should also have more input from them in terms of development.
Endowments in universities, it's only, Nigeria now. They don't want people to know that maybe a professor doing some research, they gave 100 million naira. Doesn't want you to know that. Because conducting the research.
Yes.
There have been endowments. People have died and have left money. Government too, I'm sure government is involved. But then you see, if I have my way, education will be free in Nigeria. But I have antagonists who will face me and say, look, let people send their children to school because there are other priorities. There are priorities on infrastructure, there are priorities on other sectors of the economy. But my own take is that research, innovation, spend money on that. Regulations on new technologies that will stop machines from controlling our life, which must be tested. Yes.
You see, this this circular that's been sent out by the Presidential Committee of Salaries now also raises the question about the potential, people are saying, for the increased fees due to, increased fees or dues, rather, for professionals registered under these bodies. Now, what are we looking at? Maybe possible implications, maybe fee adjustments on professionals, especially those that are already facing financial constraints?
You see, I'm warning you that this thing is not authentic. You are still dilating on it. What is the business of government with the fees of professional bodies? If they have a contract, okay, let us say manufacturer, an engineering company, It will take the money from government. There will be money for the project. There will be fees. And if it's a public good, like road, hospital, school, that everybody uses, government cannot stop funding that. But like accountants do audit and get paid. They don't need government subsidy. Lawyers don't need government funding. And many other professions like that. But this circular, okay, look at the date, to start 2024, to start 2026, or Rossonye report, they are just babbling, are confusing issues. So I take it with a grain of salt. I don't have to speak on it.
Definitely.
But overall, how would you assess their impact on the general development of Nigeria, these professional bodies over time?
They have developed. Okay, let's go historical now.
Yeah.
Colonial days. Who are the first set of people that fought for our independence? Lawyers, doctors. Because the school there were more even qualified than the colonial administrators on the ground there. See, but later, medical profession receded into the background when they got too big. They said the age of the humanitarian doctor was gone. But now it's the service in the IT people.
Yes.
Are the people in high demand now. IT, and then even the innovation in IT is what is threatening our existence now.
Yeah.
You get me? See Facebook, Google, CNN. What people read people are attached to them, like the gospel truth. But we now know that there is disinformation, misinformation.
Yeah, that's why there's a call for regulation, increased regulation.
Regulation. You see, the innovation in the internet technology industry grew so fast that the law can never cover. The law in the past used to be, even to now, based on precedence. It's based on precedence. It's only a brave judge that will go out of the normal and carve out his own decision. So we need to move fast, save ourselves from new products and tech services and technologies, and make regulations. Fund research on health. You get me? So we can cut costs in some areas. Cut costs. At the time when the banks were not making much profit, they reduce even telephone bills and so on. If you cannot increase revenue, you cut your costs. But you don't do it, put your security in jeopardy, socially and politically, and financially.
Still talking about clarification, I'm just getting this set of messages saying that there actually was a mix-up from the budget office that needs to be cleared. Then Mr. Akabueze, of course, had confided in someone saying that he was not necessarily referring to professional bodies, but specific agencies. And on here, he did say that the PCS approved the extension of the Nigerian Council of Food, Science and Technology exit from the budget, the Climate Change Council as well, and the third agency being the National Council of Arts and Culture. Does this...
To me, this is a mix-up. You can see there is a mix-up. Although culture is involved too. I spoke of when I changed my own color. So you should be careful. You should be careful. You see that there's mix-up.
Yes.
There's mix-up in date. There's mix-up in ministry. There's mix-up. Please, you should be able to, let's try to sift, news. The old school of journalism that I belong to, cross-check your facts. But nowadays, there are more fake news on the phone, on the internet, than authentic one.
Yeah, very good, Mr. Sobowale, which also brings you alluded to the fact that at least a majority of these professional bodies their own self-funded to a large extent. So, which brings to the question of what exactly is government's input in terms of, is it a partial funding or full funding, and how have that actually impacted their influence over the professional bodies as well?
The government is not for that Christmas, and the professionals, they are not Red Cross. You get me? They get paid for services rendered, and they know how to look for funds. You get me? Some of their more successful members give donations. A proud profession should not look for aid from government to exist. And government should not look away from institutions that deliver public goods that will make citizens happy and vote for government again. So it's a carrot and stick situation. There must be regulation, but there must be sufficient welfare commitment on the part of government to make society better.
All right, very good. Dayo Sobowale, a Rise News analyst, would like to thank you for your input on those issues.